Alright, what's going on today? Let's see right here. And oh my god, the Switch 2 is even less affordable. This is a cow's opinion. Catchphrase, we can't afford one, not in this economy. But what you can do to help us out is you can like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the playthroughs, the news, and me just getting my butt handed to me constantly. It is a channel built for fun, on a budget, and let's just keep it at that, guys. And today we don't really talk about politics a lot on this channel because I don't think politics belong in your fun. I think you should be able to relax, ignore the stuff that is stressing you out, and just have a good time. But we do have to talk about the economics today because Nintendo has warned to expect the 145% tariff that the US government is pushing on the Nintendo Switch 2. So, this is from Video Games Chronicle. Jordan Middler, a frequent contributor here on the Cows channel where we review stuff. And an internal assessment by major suppliers has warned that yes, the video game consoles are appropriate for the 145% tariff and to expect it. Now, that is not good. Now, in the last couple of days, things like iPhones and some computer chips and other stuff have been said, oh, no, that's not, there's exemptions for that. And then, of course, the economic guy in charge of all this came through, oh, well, they're getting big tariffs too in just a few days. I don't know what they're doing. I really don't. But we'll only go focus on the video game portion because this is a game channel. And there is thoughts that Nintendo may actually have to increase the $450 console. Now, there was some thinking that the reason why the console is so expensive is because they knew that some tariffs and stuff were going to happen. And that they were trying to bake in the increase so that they get. Nintendo is the only game company that makes money on the consoles. Historically, Sega, when they made hardware, and Microsoft and Sony have always taken a loss to get the technology. PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 were some of the cheapest ways to get a DVD player and then a Blu-ray player because Sony just wanted the technology format in your hands because they also do a lot of other stuff with DVDs and now Blu-rays and stuff. So if they give you a really cheap player that you can also play video games in, it's good for their bottom line. So they were always willing to take the hit. But Nintendo has always made a little bit of cash on the hardware. A little bit of cash. Now, Nintendo boss of America, Doug Bowser, has already said that they've spent months shipping hundreds of thousands of the Switch 2s to the US already. They've been trying to bake in a supply. Given how popular the Switch 2 might be, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Most of them are made in China, which has the huge tariff. A relatively small proportion made in Vietnam, which is where the 10% hike is all the other countries. Because the government said there were going to be these huge tariffs on everything. The stock market just didn't like it and started losing thousands of points daily. And the government said, we don't care. Then the bond market started tanking and saying, this is terrible. If you don't know anything about economics, everyone always talks about the sexy stock market. But here's the little bit of information that the Cows channel can give you. The bond market, where companies and businesses and banks and everything buy and sell bonds, is massively big. A factor of you don't even want to know how much. The bond market is way, way, way bigger than the stock market. So when the bond market started throwing a hissy fit over this, that's when they backed down and switched almost everything but China to 10%, saying that they would reevaluate. They're trying to negotiate and get all of this stuff done. Given that the rest of the world is talking to each other and not the US about this stuff, I have no idea what's going to happen next. And again, there are plenty of economic channels that can go into this better than I can. This is just a broad overview so you understand that the Switch 2 may be in for it. Already they've had to delay pre-orders in the US and Canada because of the financial situation. And according to a report from Bloomberg, the decision to pause hike means that it's likely that they will keep the price at $450 but it may change if those tariffs kick back in. Earlier this month, the U.S. video game trade group ESA, or Entertainment Software Association, warned that these tariffs are going to have real and detrimental impact on the games industry, especially if the hikes beyond 10% are also implemented. What does this mean? Tariffs suck, guys. They really do. I'm not going to get into the pros and cons because it's a very complex situation, and I am comfortable enough in my intelligence to tell you I don't understand all the pros and cons about global trade and tariffs. I just know that it's not good right now. There's a lot of concern about stuff that's happening, and it's affecting us here in the video game world. Apple has said that it would cost between like an extra... People have said that it would cost like an extra couple $100 per iPhone. Other places have said your iPhone will cost $1,500 if it's manufactured in America, like the guy in charge of the White House economic plan has been pushing for. So... God only knows what's going to happen. Hopefully they get all this sorted out, because it's already going to be hard enough to get a Switch 2 just to find one. But if you got to take out a second mortgage to get one, I don't know how many they're going to sell, at least initially. I like the games that they're putting out, but I'm not like super into trying to play any of them. So I probably am not getting a Switch 2 day one. I usually like to wait until there's at least one. I've day one some consoles before. But I usually like to wait until there's a game I absolutely like, yes, this is what I want to play. And then I get a console in that game. So, guys, let me know in the comments below. This is a very short and sweet one, but it's kind of a slap in the face and our wallets. Let me know, are you concerned that the Switch 2 might cost even more than $449.99 because of this? Are you planning on getting a Switch 2 day one? What do you think is happening with these tariffs and China and the US and Nintendo? That's so many people. The cow's head hurts trying to think of all this, guys. It's way too hard, and it's not fun, and it's not something I want to do. But you know what you can do? You know it was coming. You can play more games, because games are awesome. Tariffs making the Switch 2 more expensive are not awesome, and hopefully go away soon. But you deserve awesome. I'll see you next time. $449? Are you out of your mind? Talk about baked in.